Well, it's kind of funny when you think about it. Junior Mint wants to give a play-by-play of the Tyson fight, when his big concern should be his own fight for his own freedom. In a desperate effort to try to find content for his show, he's going to broadcast the Mike Tyson fight, when we could all go on our big screens and watch it in comfort instead of listening to this goober give a play-by-play. Now that should be interesting, but I'll be actually watching the real fight on, I don't know about you guys, but I'll watch the real fight on my television. But you gotta love it though. Give the guy, a C plus for effort anyway. Yeah, we're gonna listen to his play. Dang, oh yeah, oh. You know what I mean? Know what I mean? Oh, please, give us a fucking break. Oh, shit. If the guy even tried to put, some effort into actually creating vlogs that have any meaning to it at all, substance to it, any relevance, then I'd say, well, give him a B for effort. That's going a little bit too high, but to go replay, as Popeye does with my simulcast, same damn difference. And we're going to hear him going to play by play from his jail cell. Well, I think the only fight that he should be concerned with is his fight for getting his fucking freedom. My opinion. We all have one. We all got an asshole, right? But I think that should prove to be pretty goddamn hilarious. As he's too worried about how many views he gets and keeping his channel going for more watch hours and so forth and so on. He should be worried about his fight. He shouldn't even be on YouTube at all. But again, with his problem with defying authority, he just persists on putting shows on. Now, they probably gave him permission if he had to call his lawyer or family for a reason, and they allot him how many minutes of time to maybe do that. I believe that's how it works there. But he's hiding from the guards all the time, every time he's doing a live show. And you heard my recording on there. Well, I caught him saying, well, the guards don't know I'm doing a live show. Ha, 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 ha. Don't worry, your day will come. You don't have to worry about that anymore. Because you won't have a cell phone to be, talking on. Good morning, Mazda 9. Mazda 9, one of my regulars here. Yeah. Ella May. Yeah. He doesn't have broadcasting rights. He doesn't have any rights anymore at this point. Play-by-play with Barry J. Hey, I like that. Play-by-play with Barry J. That's going to get him a huge audience. Well, everybody else is watching it on Netflix. Hilarious. Hey, Popeye. Have your breakfast yet, little Jim? Couple of camels. Yeah, we know the scenario. I should thank him for rebroadcasting my stuff because I get to see my own show because I don't usually keep them on if they're less that pertinent. But I can always go back. And actually, if you haven't noticed, there's been no activity from the Copycat channel there. I wonder why. That's interesting in itself. But we got Popeye now. Oh, he has to get up at 7 o'clock because his dog gets up and licks his fucking balls. That's the closest he's going to get to sex with anybody. It's with his fucking dog. I thought that was funny. Laugh, laugh. Snicker, snicker. Okay. No, this ain't gonna be a long show. I don't know, I'm cooking up something here. For those that not aware, there's a series of storms coming in. The Versailles, well, if it goes off course a little bit, the Versailles will get hit up a little bit. If anything, I'm sure there's going to be some rain. When is there not? There'll be some rain. Not that I want a hurricane or typhoon coming to my neighborhood. Not really. But you know what always amazed me is always Luzon and areas like that are constantly being barraged by typhoons and earthquakes, but people choose to live there. It's like the idiot that chooses to come on all the time and do shows when he's not supposed to be using his cell phone. What makes people want to live in these areas when it's so disaster prone? I've never understood that. I don't know. The Copycat channel has another channel. Oh, what's wrong with the original? What's wrong with the original channel? People start to get bored of it. Well, we got Popeye filling in the blanks on that. As long as he's up by 7 or whatever it is. He got really disappointed because he missed most of my broadcast yesterday. He's kicking himself in the ass for that. Play-by-play with Popeye today. That should be the name of the show. Play-by-play with Popeye today. No, I don't want to check it out. It's the same old shit another day. You've seen one show, you've seen another, just copying the shit I put on. We got Popeye for that now. So Popeye's kind of outdoing the Copycat channel. Oh, how sad. But, you know, at least I'm producing material that gives somebody a reason to get up, to face their day, to give them something to do with their time. Who says I'm not performing a good task on here? A public service. No, he does it all the time. What are you kidding? As long as he's up and I decide to do a live show, he's there. He got bells and alarms that ring all over the house when I do a show. I think it goes beyond the notification tool on YouTube. Somehow, he's technically maybe more advantaged than a lot of us are, and rigged up a system that when I come on, you know, alarms go off, bells go off. If not training his dog to lick his fucking nuts every time I do a show. Oh, I don't mind the replays. Because sometimes the stuff I put on there that I could use for evidence that maybe I somehow fucked up or deleted or whatever, and allows me to go back there and do a remix or something on there. No, not periodically. Oh, how exciting. Good morning, Jerry. I like that little intro when Jerry comes in. Good morning, Jerry. Let's add illegal streaming to Barry's problems. This guy knows how to break every law. Well, he's a lawbreaker, apparently. He's a heartbreaker, lawbreaker. Oh, man. People have to have a reason to get up in the morning, and some people, you know, their reasons supersede our own. Look, you got to get up, you got to look forward to something in your day. I don't care what it is, you have to look forward to something. So why not record Frank's shows? Oh, you're not too late today, Jerry. Gigante. Why is your ass out here in the goddamn Philippines yet? You still got that girlfriend out here, don't you? The one I met? Same girl, right? No, I didn't meet her. No, I didn't meet her. No. You just showed me her picture. That's right. I never met her. And we were out with Barry, remember? We were out with Barry. Yeah. It's possible that Barry can plead guilty and go home, or will he go to Bickerton? I don't care. He can go to hell for all I fucking care. I'm just there for the ride. I'm just there for the ride. I just do what I have to do, what I need to do my testimonies, present evidence, and whatever the good judge decides to do, and he'll do. And I'll accept anything that the judge says, because he's the man. He's God in that courtroom, remember that. Know what he fucking did? That last hearing we had, he's got this charge sheet in his ear. He runs up there, Your Honor, if I can possibly, and he's shoving it in the, wait a second, not secretary, the court clerk. Shoving it. I got a charge sheet. Hey, I want to show it to you, Judge. I got a charge sheet. He's just like a bat out of hell. Runs up there when our session was over. When it's over, they're not taking any more minutes or anything like that. He just rushes up to there. Your Honor, help, Your Honor, I got something here you need to see. My God, that was embarrassing. Yeah, that's Jerry the Fairy. Yeah, that's what they call him. So Gante says, every time I make a plan to go, someone will want to pay me well to work. It happened again this week, or I would be on my way. Well, you got to think about the money. Barry is watching my cousin Vinny for legal advice. G-boon! It's starting to become a habit here in the morning. I am not supposed to be doing any live shows. God, am I falling into this shit again? Oh, well. I mean well. The lady doesn't like it, but, you know. At least I'm not doing fucking 3 shows a day. My God, I was at some point where it was just totally ridiculous. Now, the truth is, I really shouldn't be on here at all. I really shouldn't. But as I said, I'm waiting for something. That's all I'm going to say. Then the tide will change. I think you understand what I'm talking about. Yeah. I think you do. So now we got to hear a play-by-play by Barry. Yeah. What a goober. Play-by-play with Barry J. They should have entitled it that, Play-by-Play with Barry J. You're spending that much time in incarceration, man. You got to do something. I kind of understand it. I do. I actually do understand it. He's got to do something. If he has use of his phone, he could get away with it. You know, I would love the use of my phone, too, if I'm in that situation. Hopefully never, but I do understand. You want to be in touch with the world. You want to see things. You want to see movies. But this guy's got all the bells and whistles. You don't just got a cell phone. The motherfucker has a laptop in there, too. Movies and whatever, it's like, how could the guards not know that? How could they not know that? That's funny. You thinking Mazda 9 is Jerry? I don't get you. Everyone left in Barry's chat is trolling him. Yeah. Yeah. I'll buy that. I mean, why put a show on if you have nothing to talk about? So he'll say, well, what's the matter? Nobody's talking. Because they know what you're going to say, and they get tired of it. Oh well, oh well. That's how he fills in the space on his show. Oh well, oh well. Well, if nobody's going to talk, then okay, I'm just going to end the show. Look, when you hear this guy every single day belching, and I literally mean belching out the same crap over and over again, even his most avid viewers get bored. Telling Barry's on the right track. Yeah. Nah, they call him Jerry the Fairy. I don't know, Aloe or somebody, or Popeye or somebody came out with that, I guess. It's all trolling. Well, that's what they do on here. The trolls troll. That's what they do. Carpenters build things. Trolls troll. Right? Right. We are the world. We are the people. God, somebody sent me someone I know in New York. You remember that song, and it was made in a commercial? I don't know. You're talking Springsteen, Michael Jackson, you name the musical artists at the time, they were all in it. That was quite a production, I must say. I don't know how many of them are alive, but that was quite a production. We are the world. We are the future. Maybe Barry believes he is winning one or two people. Winning. Oh, one or two people pump him up. I can imagine him in his jail cell. He's over there with, like a air guitar. When he's going to do air punches, he's going to be Tyson or whatever. There you go, Frank. Yeah, right. Fuck. 20-year difference, let me tell you, I'd still kick his fucking ass from here to fucking eternity. I know my limitations, but there's none with him. But fortunately for him, I'm taking a legal route, which has actually more power to the punch, since we're talking about the Tyson fight. There's a lot more power to the punch legally than there is physically. Remember, you could harm somebody, but they're going to heal. They're going to heal. Do something legal, put their fucking ass where it should be, in jail. Then you're accomplishing something there. It's an illness, yeah. Well, yeah, no doubt. I mean, listen to the guy. I mean, use your own judgment without me having to say a goddamn word about it. Do you think this guy is mentally well? And, for legal purposes, disclaimer, I'm just going to say, use your own judgment. And you guys are avid listeners, whatever, of his channel. You make your own judgment on that. Like when Fazio punched a bag and 3 people pumped Fazio. Fazio believed he was Mike Tyson. He believed he was a lot of things. And we don't want to get into a Fazio thing. Everybody's blaming, you're still talking about Fazio. Well, somebody just brought it up. So since you brought it up, here's a point I'm going to make on him. With all his so-called skills and talents, look what he was living in. Why couldn't he have built a rather charming little shack with all his carpentry skills, everything, his wisdom of the tools, and just a plain knowledge of being able to build things? Why was he living in this caddy shack when he could have made something similar size that was actually livable? Absolutely charming. He could have added a little deck outside that's covered to sit on a rainy day, because, you're going to feel really confined in a place like that. That place was small, dudes. That was small. Shit, I'd go out of my monkey-ass mind. Why? Because Fazio suffered from it. Well, that was pretty obvious. Yeah. That was damn obvious. If none of you guys could have figured it out, he went scuba diving with an Obama doll in his hand. I mean, what does that tell you? He was talking to an Obama doll on a boat and banging a pot with a face on it, wearing eyeglasses that were taped over to Kingdom Come. He didn't want to spend the money to buy new glasses. He had a whole shoebox full of reading glasses. No, that was total insanity with him. Total insanity. Nobody in their right mind would live like that. Bang a pot, make a lot, Jerry says. He was making a little bit of money with that, wasn't he? Crazy old fool he was, but he made a few bucks. Then what was his best friend died? Who's the one that died? Not Scott Del Fuego. And you know who Scott Del Fuego was, right? He was a retired assistant police chief or something in Chicago. Who's the one that died? The other guy. Can't remember his name. Fazio had no intentions of building anything that would be left behind for Pinoy's. No, man, it was just a plot. It was a scam to make money. And he was trying to, oh God, did he try with Warren? He tried so hard to stretch how many dollars he can get off Warren for a fictitious structure. Yeah, we'll have you buy. You could have the whole second floor if you want, whatever. But he was funny, though. You got to say that. I mean, hired a handicap. They're fun to watch. I had a roommate that said that. I guess I mentioned that before. I thought it was hilarious, but I thought it was also insulting to people that were handicapped. But it was funny, though. Hired a handicap. They're fun to watch. What was it? I forgot. But even you guys are forgetting. I thought it was my age, but no, Warren, guys, Warren did not pass away. He's been on here under several different names the whole time. It does surprise me that he's still alive because he had some real problems. He was enormously obese, grossly obese. I've seen the pictures. His legs were so big. Probably had edemas going on. Now, Warren is still alive. No, he didn't pass away. They wanted you to believe that. Warren was even given referee Bummer a little side money to kind of keep on having him say that Warren passed away. Barry would look cool with a Tyson face tattoo. The only tattoo should be in his face is somebody's fucking fist. Not promoting violence here, by the way, but disclaimer. But I'm sure he's had that happen to him many, many times. Don't forget, he was a mighty bouncer. Except the problem was he got bounced around instead of the other way around. Luminar, what are you playing? Both sides of the fence there, dude? No, there's really no word on Roberto. I think something's going down because nothing stops Roberto from making comments unless he just decided to go under fictitious name, a sock account, and But I think there was trouble at home with the old lady, or it could be health conditions, or he could have passed away. But I find it very strange that his constituents, Aloe and Popeye and so forth, are not saying anything about that at all. They know everything, remember. Yeah, he was a running back. He was a running away. Hey, it's my turn to shine here, so, I'm going to lay some things out here. It's my turn to shine. In all the effort of fun. Roberto posted on his Facebook. You sure about that? It has to be a reason he's not doing shows. Maybe his wife finally put her foot down, maybe on his neck. I said, you got to stop doing these YouTube shits and stop insulting Frank and other people. Because there's nothing ever stopping Roberto from making a comment about me or something. There's never been. Wild horses couldn't drive him away. So yeah, something went down with that. Well, truthfully though, he had a gastric bypass, and sometimes you got to have things done that you don't want to have done. That's the way life is. But yeah, if he needed it, he needed it. I mean, the guy was really gaining a lot of weight, and it was really deteriorating his health. And as such, I mean, what are you going to do? You have to have something done. Now, I'm not saying that it was a great thing that was done to him, because generally speaking, there is major problems with that comes later on, from my understanding, being the professional that I am, that, could be detrimental when you get a gastric bypass. Hold on, I got a hot pot here, and I got to drain some sweet potatoes here. Sweet taters! Sweet taters. Yeah, believe it or not, sweet taters in the morning, with some eggs probably. Yeah, I eat stuff like that. I don't eat Oreos for breakfast, Alright, so this gives us an option. Besides, a couple of these pieces here, I want to save for the dogs, because dogs lay these things, and it's really healthy for them, actually. Now I'll probably get some eggs going or something for protein. We are the world. We are the future. We are. Everybody is. What we do with our time, is very valuable. And if you want to spend time being a wise ass and then wind up in fucking prison, that's your thing. It's not mine. But the one thing about me is I could adjust to just about any situation, whether voluntarily or non-voluntarily. If I wound up in a fucking detention cell, shit, I'd put curtains up. I'd have somebody paint a mural in there. Whatever, man. I mean, I would make the best of a situation. I would probably exercise every day, more so than I would normally. I would try to keep myself in good shape to face the adverse conditions. Oh, absolutely. Of course I would. I would make the best out of a really bad situation. Otherwise, you're just basically going to deteriorate, which is what he's doing. He could at least do exercises or something in there, make believe he's Mike Tyson or something, or whatever, whatever. He could do that, right? Okay, weird that he was Cebu in July and didn't make any noises. Who? Oh, Roberto. No, nobody offered me a payoff to drop the charges. No, nobody. Me? Nobody's going to offer me shit. Are you kidding me? No payoffs. Everything legit. Everything legit. However, how soon we forget, or maybe some haven't, but when CW gave him that $50K, and God, got the video right here, man. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much, CW. That's really going to help. With that money, I could convince the prosecutor to drop the case. Oh, how can I forget that? Oh, shit. Would anybody forget that? Oh, the egg broke in my hand. All over the stove. I guess I squeezed too tight. Must be all that power I have. Oh my gosh, I'm going to clean that up. That's nasty. Hold on, guys. Something interesting that you guys could try. You take an egg and, stand it up, have it end to end. Not from the middle, but end to end. And try putting pressure on that. And the egg is designed that you will not be able to break that egg. You will not be able to break that egg. If you hold it from top and the bottom and you put pressure on there, no, I'm not going to try to do that now. I already just broke an egg. But I'll refrain from that. We are the world. We are the people. We are the future. Yes, we are the future. But my God, everything happening in the world right now. There's so much going on. And everybody's worried about who and what they're saying on YouTube and all that shit. It's so much going on in the world. People devoting their time to maim, insult, defame. Come on, folks. Seriously speaking. Get your act together. Right now. Hold on. I gotta make a couple of eggs for the sweetie too. I do think about her. It's not all me, like somebody. Everything for me. I do think of others. I actually do. Let's see. Also, what that Fisher doesn't want his love for the teacher publicly known. Look, I don't know what he does with his private life, and that's his business. That's his business. Whether or not the chick you're talking about is his girlfriend or not is irrelevant. That's his personal business. It is. It's his personal business. So what if she was? I mean, what's the big deal? I don't know why he'd want to hide it. I mean, that's something I kind of like, really wouldn't understand. There's a lot of things I don't understand. To each his own. People make their own choices, good or bad. And they eventually pay for them. Kind of like the way things work. Eventually you get caught when you're doing something that you shouldn't be doing. Right? Am I right or wrong? Have I proved that? God damn, I did prove it. You know I did. I can't help it, man. I'm just a principled person, man. You call all you want. You say it's just words. Words can hurt in more ways than one. And we're not talking about hurting somebody's feelings. It could hurt somebody's reputation worldwide. It could also hurt people physically, because if somebody is labeling you as a fucking child predator, understand something. Understand something. That has some really detrimental effects. So if you wonder, well, why you want to go through all this, spend the money and all the good, because I am a principled person. Because what he said wasn't cool. Of course, you'll never understand a situation unless you were in my, you were wearing my shoes. Excuse me, I gotta cart this to the table. That's a fairly healthy breakfast. And these are sweet potatoes, not regular potatoes, with some scrambled eggs. Of course, my tea. Of course. We are the world. We are the future. I don't know. Is there really hope for this world? Sometimes I really wonder, with all the violence and hatred in this world, I just Everybody's at each other's throats all the time. I see a divided world, not just a divided nation. I see a divided world. Everybody's divided. They're all divided. And everybody has their own opinion, and they are allowed to have their own opinion. But even that is not protected. The truth is, you can only say so much. Then there's a dividing line as to what's acceptable in our society to say and what is not acceptable to say, and especially on public media. Comprende? I knew you guys would understand that. And he says it's all bullshit. Oh, I hurt your feelings. I called you some bad words. You did. You did call me some bad words over and over and over and over again. Non-stop. That's the secret. Non-stop. If it was a one-time deal or something like that, I'd say, whatever, man. Fucking idiot. But, it wasn't a one-time deal. Comprende, Popeye? It wasn't a one-time fucking deal. Now he's paying for it. Literally and figuratively. Hey, sweetie, I got a breakfast there. I got some sweet potatoes and scrambled eggs. So come on over and enjoy the feast. Okay? Good girl. You're such a good girl. My gorgeous, wonderful, beautiful Gina. I guess I have to address her that way. I can't just say, oh, my girlfriend. I got to say, my wonderful, gorgeous, I don't know, who's he trying to prove it to? Himself or the audience? I don't know. Beauty is in the eyes of the beholder. Don't have to try to prove to everybody else, oh, my beautiful, gorgeous, wonderful, fantastical girlfriend. Okay. Got your point. But every fucking time? Oh, he's just trying to butter her up. What he's trying to do. He needs her. Remember that. He needs her. He needs her. Yeah. Like a nail needs a hammer. You know what I'm saying? Like a nail needs a fucking hammer. Also weird. Did the teacher's voice sound like a female? What are you guys talking about? Don't worry about Mick Fisher's selection of women, because quite frankly, it's his business. Nobody else's. He can date, screw, whatever he wants to do, anybody he wants. That's his prerogative. And it's really nobody's business. Did the teacher's voice sound like him? Like a female. I don't know what you mean by that. It sure beats Oreos. Mick does wear those pink shorts. Pink shorts? I don't know. I wasn't aware of that. Well, Mick is not the biggest troll on here. He told me himself, I'm tired of all the bullshit on here. Because every one of you people are a bunch of fucking crazy motherfuckers. You didn't want anything to do with YouTube. That's what he said, anyway. To me. Can't blame the guy if he really meant it, but he's had some comments on there since. Oh, get a fork. Play-by-play with Barry J. Oh, man. That is funny. Shit, we could just turn on Netflix on the TV and listen to his show. Although, I guess that would be some pretty good comedy to listen to his play-by-play and his reactions, punch by punch and all that. Because he sees himself as one of the fighters in that ring. As if maybe he's fighting me. Mick stuck his business in Ricky's... No, Mick stuck his nose in Ricky's business. No, it was Ricky that was talking shit about Mick. Let's get it straight. And Mick should have punched out Ricky when he had the opportunity at the bar. Hedger says, Frank, I'll say it. If Barry ends up in Picayune, you will go down as a hero in the PH Kano genre. Well, I'm not trying to be a hero, my friend. I'm just doing what I think is right. What's right for me. Not for anybody else. You know, you gotta kind of hold to some values in your life. Or at least try to. I mean, this is like one of those circumstances where you could step back and say, all right, the guy's a mental case or something, if that's how you perceive him. But it just comes to a point where, like, it becomes like, okay, enough is enough. When he's nonstop. And how has it helped him? I don't see how it's helped him at all. It's not helped him. It's just made things worse, but he just continues all the time and does what he does on a daily basis. And nobody has such privileges as him. I mean, going in a jail cell and using his phone. I mean, that's just pure stupidity. I mean, I do understand. Completely understand the need to do so. Because quite frankly, you know, you will go out of your monkey-ass mind in a situation like that if you didn't have communication with the world. Oh yeah, he's the boss of the third floor now, but he thinks he's going to be the boss in Bickerton. He's got another thing coming. Oh, he certainly does. It was like that cartoon animation thing of that guy in jail that looks like, in a prison, looks like Barry, and he's being whipped around, and that's a whole different scenario. I ain't the boss of anything. Play-by-play with Barry J. Play-by-play. You don't know how he has a phone? Because he's getting away with it. He not only has a phone, he has a goddamn laptop in there. He's got everything. Coffee makers, hot water heaters to make coffee. He's got like a little sorry store in there. And there's a second bunk above him. It's like a table, and he's got cans of food. He's got this and that. It's a regular Motel 6. And by the way, it's probably one of the best living situations he's ever had. Well, I think he reached his breaking point now. It's pretty obvious, his behavior. I think any more time in there he's just going to fall apart completely. His health is going to just totally deteriorate. It sounds like it is already. Hey, look, let me make you understand something. I don't want to wind up in no situation like that. Believe me, he's trying to make that happen, but if something like that did happen with me, I'd likely get out on bail. But here's the thing. I would make the best of it. Why? Because I have no choice. You make the best of it. You keep your mind and your body occupied. Read a book. If you can't have a phone, do exercise on a regular level. Even if it means walking out of the gate, the jail cell door, in that area and just walking around, moving your blood. It's good for your GABA in the brain. I mean, it's good for circulation of blood and to keep your anxieties down. He gives the so-called guards rice and chips so they overlook him breaking every rule. Well, I'm not going to say that he does or doesn't do. Something's going on, but, I can't prove it. He has a phone because he's only being detained. It doesn't matter. You got to understand there's more involved than just his immigration. Okay? That's what you're not seeing, the whole picture here. He has 5 criminal cases against him. Counts. And it has to do with, guess what? Cyber libel? And there he is with his fucking phone doing the same shit over and over again? That's not a thinking man. That's not a thinking man. If he had fucking half a brain, and I say that, of course, Popeye loves that word, demonstration. I'll say it again. By his own demonstration. If it bothers Popeye, I'll just say it a lot more. Demonstration, Popeye. Demonstration. 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 Add a little more gin to your coffee, will you? See, that's a healthier breakfast. You gotta have something in the morning, I ran out of oatmeal. I have oatmeal, but I think that's pretty stale. For the word of advice, if you're gonna keep oatmeal, say you got it in another container, still oxidation and all that shit. I mean, it could actually turn your oatmeal actually a little bit toxic. So I won't touch the rest of the oatmeal. It has to be rolled oats or whole grain. And what I got left is not really bad. I never really know what the hell to eat in the morning. I mean, sometimes we'll resort to just making simple pancakes or something, Maybe not the healthiest thing in the world, but you got to put something in your stomach in the morning. Better than a fucking, Oreo cookies or chips or some crap like that. Come on, you got to get real. Barry's demonstration brain is concrete. Frank, 5 counts is not a big deal now. Maybe when he goes to court. Not a big deal. What do you mean it ain't a big deal? It's a huge deal. I don't know what you're talking about, bro. That's a huge deal. Not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, but 5. Each of it acts upon its own, individual case. Count 2, count 3. Pretty serious. I wonder if he still believes that he didn't make a mistake. I wonder if he still believes that, well, he's got all this freedom of speech in his country. No, you don't. And you don't have it in America. It has nothing to do with American against American. It's foolish. God, has he got that wrong? He always had that wrong. The fact is, whether we like it or not, every country has its own set of rules. You got a choice. You follow the rules or you don't. If you don't follow the rules, you might find yourself in his situation. That's exactly what happened to him. Frank, Barry gained weight. He convinced the judge that it's not him on the screen. No, it's AI. It's AI. Remember, I don't even have the talent to download something, remember? Well, apparently I did, because it was right there on the screen. God, his internal reaction, I can imagine, was going through his brain at the time when I actually presented the evidence. And by the way, that's not all the evidence, by the way. There's a lot more. Let's please not forget about his death threats, and that's a whole nother case. And the reason we haven't put it to the prosecutor yet is I want to see what happens in regards to his girlfriend's situation. Now, if his girlfriend's situation turns out sour for me, one way or the other, immediately going to be setting that in motion. And he'll never, ever be able to go home. Ever. Ever. He'll rot in some kind of jail cell, one way or the other. And I think you guys know I mean what I say, and I say what I mean. If you haven't figured it out by now, you probably never will. I'm just waiting. All that is in motion right now. All of that is, there has to be a decision made on that thing. Of course, my lawyer cooperated with all this, presented our opinion and evidence and whatever. I'm not going to go detail about what's current and what's not, but let's just say that my attorney has addressed this issue and we kind of see where it goes. And even so, there's recourse after that. So, there's always recourse. And as I said, there's going to be repercussions for his girlfriend being in cahoots with him. I'm being honest with you. I could lie all fucking day long, but there would be repercussions. Because she was very involved in the production of this complaint by the forceful nature of him. She harbored him at her place when he was running away from immigration. The DOJ likes to hear that kind of stuff. She's what's the word? She's complicit in a crime. And so much for his love for her, huh? If he had love for her, he wouldn't have got her involved in anything. That's just my opinion. She really needs to pay if she filed a false report. That's my point, Hedera. That's exactly my point. There's perjury, there's other things. Harboring a criminal, or harboring a fugitive from immigration justice. Oh, there's ramifications. But like I said, without doing a tell-all, like I said, according to how that complaint goes, doesn't go my way for a while during the process or whatever. One phone call. Go ahead, Alan. Do it. Put it to the prosecutor for a second case against him. And then act upon what she did. She's not out of the picture. She's far from out of the picture. As immigration and DOJ will, and they do know already, and they know because that was some of the material that was presented in the counter affidavit type of stuff and any other responses that were required from my attorney who's representing me. That was all brought up in there. Got the copies right here. I'm not going to read it to people. Got it right here. Got it right here. All that was brought up so that this will be on record. A friggin' nightmare, all of this. Yeah, it is, Carl. Co-conspirator, indeed, indeed. Well, she made that decision to file that complaint on me, coerced by her boyfriend, all written down on that report I just flashed, all written down. I can't show you it because I'm not as stupid as him. I'm not going to present in writing all this legal stuff on here. And that was another mistake he made, that my attorney, I could definitely tell you that, was mentioned. That when my own attorney, who would need to know this information, and myself, before they could send an official charge sheet, he had already broadcast this stuff all over YouTube, and he's the only person that could have done it other than his girlfriend, but I don't think she did it, he did it. That's a crime in itself. That's going to be a real, knife stab on his defense. You cannot do that. In fact, he did it in court. Now, listen, back up a little bit. Mind you, what I just said. But he comes in, he's in the courtroom at the end of the session, and he's trying to wave some evidence to the judge and court clerk that at that point was never even presented to me and my lawyer. You can't do that kind of shit. Although he tried, but you can't do that. Merciful says, Barry is so selfish to get shot and involved in this. He uses every person in his life. True. How long is that relationship going to really last? Think about it. When she sees there's just no possibility of getting together with this guy and having a future, she'll disappear like anybody else did. But he's got to butter her up. Oh, I love you. She's my rock. You know, I don't know what I'd do without her. He'll tell any woman what they want to hear. Like putting butter on the bread, okay? Not margarine, but real butter. And just sweet talk her and sweet talk her or anybody else to do the things that he wants her to do. And you know, Filipinos are very emotional and they can be awfully naive. They can. I know that as a fact. I lived out here long enough. That's exactly the scenario going on here. Barry has to be a defense lawyer. It's a nightmare. I would say so. He's had words with his own lawyer. He's had words with the warden. He has had words with immigration. He had words with U.S. Embassy. So I go on. You know, he's not their favorite person. Not at all. I suspect Barry gives her a few thousand pesos a month to bring him food. He also makes big promises. Well, I don't know about what he's given her. Big promises? Yes, of course. That's pretty obvious. How could you make promises to somebody that you don't even know your future? I mean, look, time is valuable in a girl's life, or anybody's life for that fact, you know. You know, you're hitting your 40s. And if you really want a foreigner, and that's kind of your forte, you know, you want a foreigner. You know what foreigners want. They want young, supple, you know, Filipinas. They don't go for some chick around 40 years old. Maybe that's what's going on. Maybe she feels that at her age, maybe it's kind of difficult to find a foreigner. I don't know. I'm just speculating. And having somebody in her life is better than not having somebody in her life, because it all goes back to saving face in the family and friendships that, you know, she's age 40-ish and, you know, she's got a man. It don't matter whether he's in jail or not, but she's got a man. And that's like really significant to a Filipina, rather than saying she's alone and doesn't have anybody at her age. Because if a Filipina, it's kind of like it's bad face to be 40 years old and not have a man, you know. And, you know, and not particularly her, any Filipina. Any Filipina. It's like saving face. She is his fiancée. Interesting how you spell that. Maybe you're purposely doing that as if how he would spell it. Fiancée to what? How is it even humanly possible he could marry her? I'd like to know, as he always says. I'd like to know. How? I'm running this through my mind, and I don't see how it's humanly possible under the circumstances. He's already said, no, we're not going to get married in the Philippines, because he can't. I mean, and he's going to get her to come to America and everything. So his idea is for her to fill her passport. You know, she's going to go to a couple of neighboring countries and put some stuff on her passport, and he's going to find a way to make it easy somehow. He ain't going to do a K1 or K2, whatever that is, okay, or a fiancé visa. It's just not going to work. Why? Because first of all, you have to prove that you are financially capable of not making of supporting her and not making her a burden to the state. It's not easy. It's not easy. You have to prove that you're making a certain income that's going to be able to support both yourself and somebody's girlfriend, fiance, whatever. Yeah, I know what he gave her. I know exactly what he gave her. Look, look above. Look above what? She was there the last live, and he said he wishes that he could have, a wet taco, and he laughed. He is such a low class. Yeah, right in front of her, referring to her private area as a wet taco. That is so much disrespect. You're right. That is so much disrespect. It shows you right there what she is to him. Merciful says he can qualify to sponsor her. Let's be real. If he is deported, he will leave her. I know that. Merciful says, I mean, he can't qualify. No, he can't. Now, if she's listening to all this, as I'm sure she is, and if not, he'll send her video, whatever. It just makes me wonder, what does she hear out of her ears? What does she absorb from all of this? I don't know. I don't get it. I don't get it. Now, by the way, she's not our topic matter here today, but just in reference to all of this, you would be correct to think that way. What does she get out of all of this? I don't know. What keeps her drive to be in this guy's life? I don't know. I have some ideas. I won't discuss it on here. I'll keep that to myself. But seriously, it's mind-boggling. Merciful says last week he said he loved the look of his white dick against her brown skin. Classy guy. Yeah, I heard that one too. Jesus Christ. How low can you possibly be? Well, I guess you're experienced it. If you've never seen anything like this before, well, you are. Yes, it's true. What comes out of his mouth. There are things that he doesn't lie about. I mean, it just comes out in what he talks about. How he expresses his love for somebody by calling her vagina a wet taco. That's disrespectful. And I don't understand why she doesn't see that as being disrespectful. I don't get it. I don't get it. It's mind-boggling. I know. A colonial mentality of a simple girl is what keeps her with him. Oh, I think I know what you mean by that, yeah. Well, whatever. Again, it's her choice. For whatever reason. Whether she's being scammed into taking care of him and bringing him food and whatever she does. That's her doing, and I guess she has her own reasons for that. Of course, I have my own ideas, but legally I don't want to discuss it on here. And you could formulate your own opinions too, and I welcome your opinion. Luminar says, where Barry comes from, saying wet tacos is not a biggie. Yeah, I imagine so. I can't talk like that to my woman. I just, you got to be respectful. There's no love if you don't respect your girlfriend or wife, whatever the case may be. You don't talk like that. I don't know. Some people, maybe they talk dirty during sex or something, That's not uncommon. But keep it to the sexual aspect of the relationship in the bedroom and don't put it publicly or have her sit by you in a jail cell and refer to her private area as a wet taco. I think that's quite insulting. I think it is. It really, I know it is. Oh, you could joke around with your chick and all that and say things like that as a joke, but he means it. You could even have a pet name for a woman's vagina, whatever you want to do. If she don't mind, I guess that's fine. But that she allows herself to be belittled by him is what really makes me wonder, what this is all about. Well, it's unfortunate for her that she's a victim in all this. Now she's going to become more of a victim. He said he wasn't going to get her involved in anything, but he certainly did. Oh, he certainly did. I don't think, in my mind, that there's going to be a great outcome from this at all. Well, we'll see, right? Can't predict the future, but I just don't feel that there's going to be a fantastic outcome from this for her. She could be indicted on certain charges. I shouldn't share anything with you guys on this because I don't know 100% for sure, but I think it's a distinct possibility with the harboring of him, number one, and with the participation on getting revenge on me because her boyfriend's in jail and him coercing her to actually do that. There's a, what do you call it, complicity in this. Chain migration. He convinced her family they're all going to America. The boy's got dreams, I'll give him that. He's got dreams. Come on, thumbs up, people. Come on, send all your money you can. See, I'm all monetized here. Send money, not prayers. Yeah. Chain smoking and chain migration. You still think he doesn't smoke anything, even a vape? I don't buy it. I don't know, man. If he did quit smoking, I think it's because he really had to. Even now, he's still coughing up like crazy. You hear on his show all the time. Yeah, his lungs are damaged. And I'm not saying that I ain't got none of my lungs after smoking a long time, but not even a fraction compared to him. I don't have to suck on an inhaler, albuterol or something, unless I had a real bad, chest infection or something like that. You want to open up the airways, the bronchial tubes and all that stuff. Yeah, I've done it before. But I think either he had to quit. I don't think it's because he chose on his own accord to quit smoking. In fact, he was vaping in there too. And vaping, everybody talks about that and they think, oh, that's the safer way. No, it's not. I don't know where everybody got that idea. Vaping is just as bad, if not worse, than cigarette smoke. First of all, the amount of tar in there is actually greater than in the cigarette. And they put nicotine in there too. I'll tell you one thing, if I couldn't smoke in a jail cell, I got a shitload. That, of all people that bought me, it was Mick Fisher. He bought me it. Mick Fisher. I got a shitload of nicotine gum. I got the kind that it's only like 2 milligrams. It's like it equals a cigarette, one cigarette. So when you got the urge to smoke, you just pop one of these in your mouth. I got a shitload of that. I'd survive. That's a hard one. I mean, I think if Tyson manages to get some good punches in, then I think Jake is going to be in big trouble. He's a powerful man, no matter what his age. It just goes to prove, never mind somebody's age, necessarily. Tyson is a powerhouse. I don't care what color he is, what religion he is, any of the above. The man is a good fucking boxer. And he is a powerhouse. I don't know what makes his muscles more effective than other boxers. I don't know. You got to be willing to be able to get hit and still fight and still throw the punches. I think there's a good chance that Tyson will win this fight. Even though he's like, 59, 60 or 59? The guy's in great health. All right, he does smoke pot religiously, though. That's, not good for his lungs. I don't know of his oxygen levels in his body. That could be a deterrent. Yeah, I hope he wins too. Merciful says Tyson was the youngest heavyweight champion in history. His fights were so entertaining to watch. Yeah, I've seen a lot of them. I know this Jake guy, he seems really cocky, and I hate cocky people. You know what I used to love to watch on TV, and I still do, well, on the phone anyway? You get these really cocky fighters that are like, laughing at their opponent and having their hands, yeah, come on, show me what you got. Then they get the shit beat out of them. That's the kind of stuff I like to watch. When somebody is cocky to deserve reward. And by the way, I think the purse on this fight, I think if you lose, you're still getting 40 million. I'm not sure what the winner gets. 80? I don't know. Of course, you take taxes and all that shit from it and your handler and all that other shit. You're still making a lot of money. Imagine making that kind of money for just fighting somebody. Damn. Oh, I saw it on a Facebook feed. Skinny looking boxer, man. They had to stop the fight because this guy had a hematoma on his right forehead. It was like another head. And I don't know the guy's name, but he really got hit in the head a bunch of times and he developed a huge hematoma. And then they had to think about whether they should stop the fight or not. Had to examine him. And I mean, the minute you see a hematoma, we're not talking about egg size, okay? We're talking about like another head. The guy had a hematoma that was huge. And they had to go have him examined to see whether they should stop the fight or not. Well, they did stop the fight, but it was hilarious just to see that they had to make a determination on whether he could fight or not. 20 million for Tyson? Huh? Why is Jake going to get 40 million? And why is Tyson only getting 20? Is that because, Jake is an active fighter and Tyson is pretty much retired? It's a good paycheck no matter what it is, man. Everybody in the country, you know the money that's being exchanged on this with commercials and all kinds of shit and advertisements and sponsors and all this shit? Yeah, they're building this up, which they do all the time anyway. They're going to build a fight up. Because the more you build a fight up, you're going to get lots of money coming in everybody's hands. I mean, 20 million. Who the hell can raise that? What average Joe could raise 20 million bucks? Shit. If you're going to retire, you might as well retire in style. But I never did agree to some of the lifestyles of these people anyway. Why do you need a 27-room mansion? I mean, I've always laughed at that. It's just everything in this world is a status symbol. That's all it is. Everything's a status symbol. Look at me. Look at me. Look at this palatial mansion I own. Not to mention the other 15 palatial mansions in different countries and states and, the 25 cars that they have. And I mean, how do you feel when people are starving out there? I know you could look at it and say, well, hey, he earned it. He could do whatever he wants with his money. Well, that would be true. You can. You have the right to do that. But unless you're like a very charitable person, how do you live with yourself having 25 expensive, rare cars, living in a 27-room mansion that could house so many homeless people? How do you live with yourself? And you probably would say, well, very well. I would understand that response. But really, how could you not be charitable when you got that kind of disposable money? How do you live with yourself? I'm not a rich guy, but I'll tell you what, I've done some very charitable things since I've lived here in the Philippines. Although I have not been doing that lately. And I have my reason why I haven't been doing that lately. But has to do with me not having a lack of money, no. But I have my reasons why I'm just not being as charitable anymore. Because some people just don't appreciate it. I guess that's one of the reasons, you know. You can't help the other thing is you can't help everybody. I can't help every sick dog that's so covered with mange that you feel sorry for them, starving. I do my best. Sometimes I see that downtown and I go to this one lady we go to and I find one of those pop top cans of like corned beef or whatever the hell it is. And I'll spend the equivalent of like 80 American cents, on a can for some stray dog I never met. And sometimes I give them two. Yeah, I do that a lot. I mean, that I kind of still do with the dogs now and then. If it's a really hot day and, I have a water bottle, even if I don't have a cup or something, I pour it on the ground so the dog could get hydrated. I don't go, Chet, Chet, and threaten to send, throw boiling water at a dog or throw rocks at it, as he admitted. What kind of a fucking asshole is he? What kind of a fucking lowlife is this guy? Shit. He deserves every fucking thing that he's going to get coming to him, man. Every fucking thing. And I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, Chet, Chet. That's what he says. Chet, Chet. Go away, Chet, Chet. I don't know if it's a Filipino thing when they say Chet, but that's what he does. We've heard it, especially when he was living with Fergie, his landlord. How many times have we heard that? Oh, I mean, I like dogs and cats. I mean, I like cats more than dogs, but I don't really like neither of them. and the other day, oh yeah, Frank's a toad killer. He's a toad killer. I'm a toad killer. Yeah. And then he says, I don't throw no rocks at dogs. I don't do that kind of shit. Then he says, well, actually, I do. Ming, ning, ning. Yeah. I know those poor dogs at Virgie's. Or is it Fergie? Virgie, right? Virgie. It's been a while. Yeah. Damn. I wonder how many animals he's killed in his life. I didn't want to think about it. He takes out his rage on innocent creatures. I would not be surprised. No, I'm not making an accusation here. Disclaimer. I'm just saying I wonder how many animals he has probably hurt or killed. He even hit a dog once. You remember he's on a motorcycle or something? I don't think he came to that dog's aid. I understand what he's saying. It's either me or the dog. If it's a situation that, you can't help it, well, yeah, you're going to hit the dog. I understand under those circumstances, but you could at least come to the aid of the dog. Come on, man. I judge a person on how they treat animals. I would never date a woman that didn't like animals, especially dogs, that didn't treat dogs with respect. I would never, I don't care how good looking she is, what a hot bod she has, I would never date a woman at all who would show no respect for animals, because that's how you know somebody's true character, how they treat helpless animals. That's how I make judgment. That's one of the ways, anyway. Anyway, I've been on here kind of a while here, guys. Always a pleasure. Frank's back again, I know everybody's saying. Well, not necessarily, but just go with the flow. That's all I can tell you. I guess if I have something to say, I will, and I usually do. But I'm just waiting for something, that's all. I'm just waiting for something. And then my show will be history. I mean, for real. I'm just waiting for something. Okay? You'll know when the time comes, whether it's announced or not, but it's better I don't. If you're going to get the fuck off YouTube, you just get off. Don't make a big old speech about it. How you plan to get off and you don't get off. I've done that so many times I can't count. You just do it. You just get the fuck off. It's not as exciting as it used to be on here anyway. It's just, I don't know. Everybody's repeating the same content over and over again. Old dog, new tricks. Wearing his shades, man. He went to, here's the thing. I've had cataract surgery in one of my eyes, my right eye. And the only time I had to wear sunglasses is when, my eyes were dilated or something coming out of the procedure. I was never told I had to wear sunglasses every day. I think what he did was he went through and he had his bags removed because he was talking about getting all this shit over. But he doesn't mention that. He said that my eyes are really sensitive because of the cataract surgery. That sounds like a bunch of bullshit to me because I had cataract surgery on one of my eyes. In fact, I don't have the sharpest eyes in the world. I got what you call an astigmatism in my right eye, which means that your eyeball is not, what's the word? What's the word I'm looking for? Okay, it has to do with symmetrics. It is not symmetric in size. And you get what you call an astigmatism. So if I were to cover my right eye and I look out of my left eye, you see a lot more clarity. If I cover my left eye and I look out of my right eye, everything's going to appear to have a little blur to it. Yeah. Now Philippine Dances is saying, did I got proof of that? Anything to make a show. Anything to make a show. As I said, don't become so dependent on your income from YouTube, man. I don't care what kind of a role you're on. Don't become so goddamn dependent on that. Someday, for whatever the reason is, it all stops, and I don't care what the reason is. You were leaning on this extra money, and suddenly your pension check, is not enough anymore. I mean, it was before. I always got through with my pension check. I wasn't making a ton of money. I always managed to survive on my elaborate Social Security check. We never went without. No, DT24. I've been on here long enough. Fuck, man. You know how old I am now? Shit. No. It's not worthwhile. There's nothing in it for me. I'll just wait until this fucking guy just gets put away, and that's all. Hello? Hiya. Gonna take you higher. I know, I'm still in my undies. I get lazy. Well, I got to shower yet. That's why I'm not dressed. I got to shower yet. And we got boys here. I mean, I'm not, I could walk through the house with a pair of undies on, and I don't think I'll be committing a crime. I don't think I'll be grooming. Call it what you fucking want. I can walk in underwear in my own house as long as there's no girls in here. Just like if I'm renting a place, I have the right to smoke, even though there's an infant there. I'm paying the rent. You heard that one? Now that one was hilarious, but it was also scary to hear that. They had no respect. It was bye-bye. Man, why do you want to get off? No, I mean, I could do videos on other topics, but it's going to be the same. I'm going to be attacked either way. I mean, you want to make... I'm not looking for a bit. Number one, I don't fucking, I don't fucking drink. And I'm not really big on hanging around with foreigners anyway. It's just too much trouble. Not I mean just on YouTube. They're just not worth it. See, they're coming to this country with their own set of problems. Got my point? And I don't need anybody else's problems. I mean, I really don't. Sorry, I'm not pissing. That's my wash machine. Just to let you know, here that we had to take this machine apart last week. It wasn't draining, so it was kind of an elaborate process what we did, but we got it all fixed. We used the TV, buy an LG. They last. We've had this for how many years? And we are talking about daily, not like laundry day is on Saturday. We use this several times a day, if not more. Now, I don't got my pressure on. I don't have the switch on the high pressure pump. This is what comes out. If I turn the high pressure on, it'll be a lot more. Where was I? You've been following me. Well, I recognize your name if that's what you did use. Way before you made it to the PH. Well, you know what? DT24, it was fun for a while. But you know, you're dealing with a lot of fucking crazies out there, and it's kind of dangerous. Let me be awfully frank about this. It's very dangerous with the mentality of the people that you're dealing with there. You know, you got yourself and your family to think about, you know. And that's a fact. I mean, we got some really wigged out people out there. Such as the guy that's doing the simulcast. I would never worry about him physically, you know, if not only for the distance. But this guy is a really sad case. I can name many. By the way, do you notice that Ricky don't come on unless he has a woman prospect, by the way, if you haven't noticed that. Okay, let me get this going for a second. I'll give it maybe 10 more minutes on here. Because I really got to shower and get dressed and all that. Okay, we having there's a storm system that's supposed to affect at least a little bit of the size, maybe more like Easter, but it's mostly going to be like in Samar, you know, and places. I think that we're probably going to get a hell of a lot of rain here, is what I'm thinking. But that's like, you know, part of living out here in the Philippines. You got to take the good with the bad. You know, you made your choice, whatever it was, come out here and all that. So there's good with the bad, like it is anywhere else. It doesn't mean the Philippines, it could be Thailand, it could be Cambodia, I don't care where it is. Any one of these Asian countries, or any country for that fact, is bad with good. And I'm going to be very respectful here. I got to take a leak, and I'm going to put this on mute, unlike some people. Okay, there we go. Hello, people. We're back. No, it's good to be able to take a piss without having to feel some pressure or discomfort. You have no idea you have no idea having a stent in there, what it feels like. And I don't really think that you would probably feel very comfortable if you did indeed have a stent. I just have the feeling that you wouldn't. It's just a guess, but I would say that it would represent a lot of discomfort. And I'll show you it again. That's a stent. Yeah. 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 That's a stent. Yeah. I'm not kidding you. Each end kind of hooks one to your fucking kidney and one to your bladder. How long is this? I don't know. This is about 10 inches or something. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You go, girl. You got more of a following than you think. I know. I know that to be factual. I give people a reason to come on YouTube because, quite honestly, I go through YouTube channels. I see different people, even people I don't know, or actually never heard before. And I'm like fucking bored. I've actually fell asleep. To some people, I decided there was nothing to listen to good on that. Okay, let me listen to this show. And it was the same old shit over and over again, what it costs to live in the Philippines. It gets so fucking old. It gets older than me. You can only hear something over and over again. I don't know, Philippines Information Channel, he decides to have another channel besides his own, and we know what he's doing. He's trying to double dip on making money. He says, no, I just want to separate the channels and I talk about like different things. It's the same shit over and over again. Same shit. Play by play with Barry J. Oh God, I hope you guys are going to record that. Please do. Posterity, whatever. Just record it. Please record it. Oh, I will, but yeah. Okay, where could I end up on this broadcast by talking about? Well, I do appreciate the viewership, and I know there's been people that have been with me for a long time, although maybe they don't make themselves very apparent on my channel. But I have one guy I talked to in Arizona, and he's not a YouTuber, but he started listening to the whole Barry saga. And this guy is a professional type of guy. He's a pharmacist and a very smart guy. And he found so much humor and the drama of listening to this guy that he became pretty absorbed in it. So he pretty much knows, what's going on. And he doesn't approve of what the guy does. Not at all. But he still gets a real kick out of it because it's like, free entertainment. Watching somebody just deteriorate and put themselves in a worse position. Because I know most of you how you think, and it's the way I'm thinking too. I mean, if you got yourself in a really serious situation legally, it'd be pretty obvious that you're going to do everything you can to kind of remedy that situation instead of make it worse for yourself. But when you don't have the capability of thinking clearly, whether you got brain damage or whatever the situation may be, whatever it might be, and I don't know, or it's just plain stupidity, period. How could you feel sorry for the guy? Why make things worse? Try to make it better. Do what you think you can do to try to find remedy. I mean, that's what a normal person would do. But we're not dealing with, again, Popeye loves this, by his own demonstration. I sound like a school principal, Popeye said. How would he know about a school principal? He never probably made it through school. He went and joined the Navy. That's where you go when, you don't know what to do with your life. I'll get free board and free food and some bennies. Why not, right? Let them take care of me when nobody else wants to. I speak it thy truth. Do I not? Okay, where do we level this off with? Oh, that's right. The play-by-play with Barry J. Incorporated. Imagine, it's just amazing. I still think it's amazing. He's sitting in a detention center, got a computer, a laptop, got a phone. I mean, I understand completely if you can get away with it on why he utilizes this stuff to pass his time, to see movies. I totally understand that. I do. I understand completely. But in light of his particular situation, it was not the wisest idea to do that because, as you know, it's getting on his phone and doing live streams that got him into trouble and why he's got a court case on him. But yet he persists on doing it over and over again. Go figure. I can't, except it's just plain stupidity. Anyway, I gotta get my act together this morning. I gotta shower yet and get dressed, and I already ate. I gotta take some vitamins. Where else was I gonna go with this on my mind? You gotta find a solution to the pollution. If not, you're gonna rot. You got choices to make in life. We all got choices. But sometimes people make the wrong choices. And it gets them in a situation that they will find very difficult to get out of. Now, look at this on a broad scale. I mean, the judge knows that guards brought him in. The judge knows that he already has disrespect for the laws in the country because he spent 7 years running away from immigration, not paying his required fees and dues. So the judge is going to take that into consideration because he's going to know the background. So you kind of add, more misery to it. He's got 5 counts of cybercrime against him on top of being an immigration overstayer for a very long period of time. What do you think is going to happen? I'm going to be honest with you. As honest as I could be. I'd be awfully surprised, shocked, in fact, that if the judge did not throw the book at him, I would be shocked. I'd be shocked. I'm not going to have a heart attack. I'm not going to have an anxiety attack. I'd be shocked. Considering the evidence, considering his background, that he's already incarcerated, it means that he's a troublemaker. How did he get away with not having the title of undesirable? He was called that when it was in the national newspapers. You can't get any more undesirable than that. Other than being that one Johnny Somali guy. Now that guy's out of hand. I admit that. That's the kind of guy that you definitely want to punch out. I guess a few people have. He's dealing with the wrong countries to go against the country. Korea, oh, come on, man. Japan, these are people that value honor to their country. And you disrespect the people and the culture the way he does? Fuck, that's like a stick of dynamite ready to go off in his pocket. A rocket pocket, but a different type. Pocket rocket, rather. Some of these things you just don't do. And you don't call somebody a child molester either. You think what you want on that. Oh, he doesn't deserve to go through all this bullshit. He certainly does. That's a lot of crap, if that's what you really think. That's a lot of crap. Because you're not in my shoes. If it was the other way around, you know how I feel. Have your reputation marred, scarred? The people that don't even know you and they hear this shit, they think it to be true. And they could be very dangerous people. You don't know what you started when you started calling that name. It puts me and my family in danger. Fuck that shit, man. He's going to deserve every fucking thing he gets. I'm not letting this slide. I don't care if he came up with 2 million fucking pesos, which he'd never be able to raise anyway. I'm not going to let this slide. It's not about the money. Stefan says I would not let up either. Yeah, just picture yourself, Stefan. You got a family, people you love, and, someone's putting you into danger. They're putting your family perhaps. They might burn your house down. You don't know what they're going to do. You don't know the psychology of these people. You don't know. They're capable of doing anything if they really believe what somebody said on YouTube. After all, the old saying now, the new age saying is that if it's on the internet, it must be true. I saw some things on that in the news or something. Well, I heard it on the internet. It must be true. Really? There's a lot of things you hear on the internet that's not true. Stefan says he needs to learn if he ever could. I don't think he could. Look, you could have mercy on people. That's your choice. If they deserve any mercy. In this case, he doesn't deserve any mercy. He doesn't. And whether you're pro or con of me or my channel, don't matter. You know what's right and you know what's wrong. Although many of you may not admit it. Because maybe there's certain people that don't like me, and they'd be happy to see that anything that could happen to me and let him go free, not because he deserves to go free. It's because maybe some people simply don't like me. And they know he's wrong. But they're not going to come on and admit it. And see, even Popeye's taking a high road these days, isn't he? I mean, this guy threatened to hit him with a brick in the head to come to Florida and put a brick against his skull. And he was attacking Junior Mint hundreds of times and doing skits about him. But now all of a sudden they're best BFFs. What's with that? Yeah. Funny shit, isn't it? Live and learn. Okay, man, I'm going to get out of here pretty soon. I got to shower up. I shower. I actually do shower. Yeah. And I do more than that. During the smoking days, I would always use mouthwash. I would change my t-shirt because sometimes it holds the smell of tobacco on there. It's called being respectful to somebody who does not smoke. Shit, I remember, man. I'll tell you good reasons for not smoking. I remember when I was making these cross-country trips on Greyhound, I bought one of these go-everywhere tickets for a month. That's when I went across the United States, Arizona, Utah, Nevada, all these places. White Sands Monument, New Mexico, Gooseneck Canyon over in Utah, you name it. Anyway, I remember when I went in the bus terminal, I had to ask the female teller a question about a next bus or whatever, I don't know. The minute I leaned forward to her, she just immediately jousted her head back because my breath must have smelled atrocious. I think they allowed smoking on the bus at that time. I'm trying to remember. But either way, you don't realize what your breath smells like to a non-smoker or an ex-smoker. They're the worst. They are the worst. Especially, I notice if your clothes is a little bit damp from the rain or something, it seems to absorb that tobacco smell. And then you walk into an air-conditioned room, it could be like a store, and that smell just comes out. That's another reason, if not just for your health, that's another reason to quit smoking. It's a disgusting smell. And if you smoke something harsh like Marlboro, and I started out with that shit, there's a big difference in the smell and how strong the tobacco is. Marlboro Smells horrible. People are always going to listen to you. Doesn't matter what you're talking about. I know, but there's a beginning to something, DT. There's an end to something, just like his case. I've spent an enormous amount of my time on YouTube. I suffered the slings and arrows, and all that shit. It just has to come to an end sometime. Like I said, don't tell people I'm getting off here and then I wind up on the next couple of days. That's pretty common with me. You just got to make up your mind to quit smoking, continue, make up your mind to continue vlogging or not to. And you don't talk about it. You don't talk about telling anybody you're quitting smoking because if you fail, of course they're going to jump on your ass. Ha ha ha. You couldn't do it. You couldn't do it. Same thing as YouTube. Frank can't get off of YouTube, right? You just got to do it. You don't talk about it. You don't announce it. You just do it. And if you're off long enough, they're going to get the hint that, oh, maybe he actually meant what he said this time. Maybe he's really off. Your dad worked for Marlboro? Yeah. Guess he got free cigs from the company, huh? That probably didn't help him. You got to understand, back in the 50s especially, everybody smoked. It was glamorous on TV, movies and stuff, and women started smoking, and it was more like a glamorous thing that wound up killing them in the end. Hollywood stars did it, and everybody started doing it. Peer pressure and acceptance. And that's no reason to start. If you did, you did. Like Ricky says, you pay, and eventually you will. Drinking, smoking, illicit drugs, whatever it might be. But we all have to make those personal choices where we want to go with it. It takes a lot of self-control. And I have a lot of that, but when you're dealing with a tobacco which has like 1,000 different additives in there, which is made purposely to get you addicted, you're fighting a big battle. I've known people who stopped smoking and a year later they died of lung cancer or something. That doesn't mean that you should not try to stop. That's not what I'm saying at all. If something's going to happen. Oh man, I wish I did. I really wish I would have brought that machine I had. I left it with my brother and I said, oh, get rid of it. Go back to the store that sells it. They'll probably give you $20 for it because they sold about $70. It was in good shape. It had a little hopper in there. And it was great. And I used to go to this one shop that sold these bags, 8-ounce, 16-ounce, 32-ounce bags of Kentucky. And they had to label it as pipe tobacco because they were not licensed to sell actual cigarette tobacco. There was a big taxation thing going on, so they get away with it by, the manufacturers calling it pipe tobacco, which, the only difference between cigarette tobacco and pipe tobacco is how coarse it is. There's just a difference in there. Whether it's more fine or more coarse, that's the difference. And sometimes they'd even add like an aroma to it for pipe smokers. They would be taxed. They wouldn't be able to do business. So I'd go in there, and they also sell the boxes of the, excuse me, cigarette rolls, the tubes with the filter on them. And you get 250 in a box. And that's enough for, over 10 packs to roll up. Sometimes you mess some of them up and you can't reuse them again. And the good thing about this Kentucky tobacco was as such. It didn't have all those additives and chemicals in it. It was basically, tobacco, period. Sure, it had the nicotine, all that shit in tobacco, which it does. But it did not have all the ingredients. So I really, for the sake of smoking, I really miss I was like a little manufacturing plant. It was pretty cool. I'd sit there. I'd keep my old packs of cigarettes, and I would fill them up with the end product of what I was producing. Machine, tea machine. Swing of the arm, you got a tailor-made cigarette. Tailor-made, bro. Tailor-made. Tailor-made. And it wasn't a little plastic machine. This was made of steel. Had a very powerful pull bar on there. It had a hopper that you could adjust to king size or whatever. And you had to know how to pack it, though. There was a little bit of an art to this, though. Because if you didn't pack it right and it was like lacking in the middle, you wouldn't get a draw and the cigarette could kind of bend over. You had to know how to pack it. If you packed it too tight, you wouldn't get a draw from it at all. If you packed it too loose, then the cigarette paper was just kind of burn up in front of you. So there was actually an art to that. You remember that? Yeah, natural tobacco. If you're going to kill yourself or whatever, you're going to spend money. See, the reason I don't do it out here, or haven't done it out here, because even if I had the machine, the roller, I've never been in a shop, not yet, that sold, dried tobacco, There might be, but the problem is, even if you could find that, you won't find a place out here that has the what do you call them? The tubes, the cigarette tubes with the filter on them. You could get them on the internet, but you're going to be paying several times the price you could get that in America, and it doesn't make it worth it. You could do that. If you want to spend the money, you could do that. That's if you could buy the bags of Kentucky or whatever, natural tobacco. But that's why I haven't done it out here. But due to inflation and everything else going on out here, it's coming to that time. And as I said, I'm not going to announce it. Not at all. I don't want to hear people jumping on my case. Oh, you couldn't do it, man. I've done it before. It was my bad that I started again. And this is back in Hawaii. I didn't need to smoke. Got up every morning. After so many days went by and everything, a month went by. And here it was. I was a non-smoker. My brother was happy with me because he had quit smoking years ago. A long time. Damage was already done from that and other things. But, he stopped a long time ago. Long time ago. And it was like nothing. It was another day. I just didn't have the need to smoke. And that made me feel empowered. And I will tell you something, that when you do quit, no matter how long it is, you get this feeling that you're empowered, that you're not enslaved to a fucking cigarette. Yeah, I got a routine when I get up every fucking morning. I got a routine. Take a piss, go out and have a fucking cigarette. After a meal, you might have a cigarette. After an activity, you're going to have a cigarette. You're letting that fucking thing control your life. I don't like being controlled that way. I'll be honest with you, I don't like being controlled. I'm not a control freak either, but I don't like being controlled. And that fucker is controlling your life. So is alcohol, people who drink. It's absolutely controlling your life. And here comes some rain. I guess we're starting to get some remnants of this shit now, after all. Oh, I gained a little bit this morning, 74.25 kilos. All right, I can live with that. I think you guys got my point. Good for you, man. Seriously. Pack was like 40 cents if you rolled your own. Oh, I enjoyed rolling it, man. I swear to God, I felt like a manufacturing plant. And even so, I never finished a cigarette. I never did. Some people would take that unsmoked cigarette, take the tobacco out of it, and use it again, but I never did that. I don't know why. So some of my brother's friends who would come over, they'd see like, I don't know, a tin can or ashtray of some sort with all these half-smoked cigarettes on there. And they'd say, what a fucking waste. I said, hey man, do you mind if I take this? And these guys were living on, next to nothing. So they'd, peel apart the cigarette, the smalls. I guess jail people call them smalls. Take the tobacco out and they'd re-roll it themselves. I never did that. And I just don't know why. I had a thing about it. I told you, when I smoke, and when somebody says, well, how many cigarettes you smoke a day? Out here they call it sticks. Definitely it's going to be a pack, maybe even more. But when you nail it down, at most it comes to 3/4 of a pack. Half to 3/4. I told you, I am wasteful with it. I am so I don't know why. I guess because it's mostly a nervous habit. Something to occupy your mouth or whatever. I don't know. It's a nervous habit. I take maybe at tops, maybe 4 drags. And on a good day, I'll take 5. Then I just toss it out. And yeah, I know it's a waste of money. I know it's a waste of tobacco, but better to do that than to smoke it. I had a girlfriend who was, a chick over in Hawaii. She was Filipina. Man, she's very cautious with her money. And she'd smoke a cigarette down to the filter. And I'd joke around and say to her, did you get enough of that cigarette, Marlene? That's where the bad shit is, closer to the filter. She'd be talking on the phone to her relatives, whatever, smoking on my deck. We never smoked in the house. Nobody. The tenants got away with that shit. But nobody smokes in my house. Whether I'm paying a rent or own a house, it don't fucking matter. Nobody smokes in my fucking house. You get your ass outside. That applies to me too, whether I own a house or paying rent. It applies to me. It's just disrespectful, that's all. Yeah. And, have respect for people you love, especially around an infant. Like that fucking piece of shit. That fucking piece of shit. Low-life motherfucking scumbag. Someone in mind. That does exactly that. He didn't give a fuck about an infant around him that could be horribly allergic to cigarette smoke. I'm paying the rent here to this fucking, crematorium. No one's going to tell me what to do in my own house. Oh, come on, dude, really? Do you really think that way? That's horrible, horrible. He doesn't care for anybody but him fucking self. Self-righteous piece of shit. It's all right, everything has a beginning, everything has an end, and we'll end this show right here. And the saga continues, and we'll kind of see where this goes, won't we, folks? Well, he's just going to be a glorious... Or will he continue to be the inglorious bastard that he is? Or it's going to work out his way. Time is going to tell, won't it, folks? Time is going to truly tell. Now you can go listen to his play-by-play on the Tyson fight. Play-by-play with Barry J. Yeah, baby.